Hey, good morning, guys. I could not find my damn laptop just now. That shit was under my damn keys and my hat and my shit I set on the damn table, on the living room table. I'm looking for my shit, like, what the fuck? I came back upstairs, I look in the bedroom, can't see that shit. I ran back downstairs, like, where the fuck is my damn laptop? Started moving shit off the table. Oh, there it is. Here it is. I'm tired of shit now. Shit. I ran 3 flights of stairs. Now if I can find the charger. Alright. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I already been up for a while. I already did a video. I'm actually that blue square is loading a video to my YouTube channel now. And I think it just loaded. Oh no, something else happened. Wait a minute. Alright, so yeah. Let me do this real quick. Quiz challenge giveaway drawing part 4. I don't know why that one doesn't have a didn't give that one a thumbnail. Shit, I don't feel like going to work either. Wait a minute. I don't have a job. Oh, how the roles have reversed. Now the shoe is on the other foot. But I'm still in here working, even though I technically don't have a job to go to. Alright, one more minute. I'm trying to upload this video to my Patreon channel. Alright, good. We're good. Yo, I'm living the fucking dream, yeah. I already do. Like, if I can just get away from that job, like, this is the dream I'm living, yo. I wake up, I go to the gym, I smoke, I paint, I draw, I stream live, chill with my homies, I play video games, I go chill some more, I come back, I smoke, I paint. That's all I do. I ain't even lying, yo. That's all I do. Like, every day I just chill, smoke, paint. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Eat some good food, fuck, watch a funny TV show or some shit. I'm living the goddamn dream. I just gotta figure out a way to make this shit last from now until the time I die. Like, if I can just hold on to this course for like the next 80 years, I plan on living a long time. At least give me like 50 more years. If I can do this for the next 50 years, I'm gravy. I'm golden. Gotta make this shit come to reality though. So is that weed dust? I think it is. That's weed. That is some dusty weed. But work is good for the soul. Like I said, even though I don't need a job right now. I kind of want a job just so I can have a reason not to be in the house all day sometimes. You know, I love chilling and painting. I'd be wanting to leave the house sometimes too and do shit. But everybody else I know, motherfuckers be at work. I digress. But so that's why I tried the Boys and Girls Club thing. They ain't want to give me that. Pfft, screw that. I said I might try to I keep saying I'm gonna go look at like Hobby Lobby or Michael's or like a arts and crafts store to see if they need somebody in there. At least I can be around like art supplies and artistic people most people who come shopping at those places generally are trying to put a project together or do something creative in some type of manner. So I would I think I could work in that kind of environment. I'm not really a people person at all. You know what I'm saying? I don't like just random motherfuckers coming up asking me questions. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. Do you work here? Well, I have on a company shirt that says Michaels, and it says employee, and it has my name on it. No, I don't work, y'all. I just like coming here impersonating Michaels employees. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. Do you know where I can find some? Oh my god, dude, your voice is fucking annoying. I don't even want to assist you. Excuse me, sir. I was looking for some body paint. Oh, right this way, ma'am. What kind of body paint you looking for? Fluorescent? Some glow in the dark? I help people like that. I'm not I'm like I'm not quite sure how to say your name or what the fuck your comment is supposed to mean. You're confusing me right now, Jabulan, PCP. You, sir, are an enigma, wrapped in a quandary, slightly folded and tucked in between an epiphany. But that being said, at least you are on the right track. You're here now. You know, whatever that may mean to me. But I'm happy you've had a chance to meet me. I'm totally glad that I'm not completely sure who you are. But we're gonna make the best out of this situation, and let's try to have fun and smile. Am I being awkward enough for you? Is that weird enough? Is that like, you know? So, what I was saying. Oh, yes. So I just, day before yesterday, or the day before that, 1 or 2 days ago, vaguely speaking, I did a challenge. I was in here working on this piece right here, and I actually had to use one of my tools and utensils to paint a segment of this canvas. And one of the viewers said, "Hey, what is that?" No. That isn't how they worded it. They said, "Hey, what are you using that stick for?" And so I explained to him what I was doing, because the entire canvas was wet, and in order to make a straight line, I needed something to brace or rest my hand against, and that's where these devices come in. And you just lay it up against your canvas, and then you can put your hand here and still paint without actually touching the wet paint on your canvas. And I thought that was a really good question, like, what are you doing with the stick? And so immediately I thought, quiz challenge. So I asked the question, what is this called? And where does it originate from? And someone answered the question. It was a 2-part question. It's 2 parts. What is it called? Part 1. Part 2, where does the name or the word originate? A 2-part question. And whoever answered it correctly first received a free drawing of a picture of their choosing. And so for the past couple of days, that's what I've been working on, is a free giveaway drawing, because I'll do those challenges every once in a while just so I can give away a piece of art. And so they submitted a picture. The picture was easy enough for me to draw, so I drew the picture, and it's done. You guys want to see it? The picture that I drew? If you want to see it, you have to subscribe to my Patreon channel, and that's the only way you'll get to see it. And you'll get to see the entire process of me drawing the picture from scratch, from a blank sheet of paper all the way to what I consider to be the finish point. And there's 4 videos I've uploaded on my Patreon channel. They're roughly about 30 minutes a piece. So in 2 hours, I was able to complete a drawing giveaway that will be shipped out today. And they don't have to pay for anything. They don't have to pay for the drawing. They don't have to pay for shipping fees or anything like that at all. It's completely a free gift, just by coming in the stream and answering a question correctly. And so I'll ship that out today. I think our UPS closes at 1. So if I can leave the house around 12:30, because it's right down the road, I can get there before they close. It is kind of nasty outside. It's raining and thundering and shit. But I want to try to get it shipped off today. If I be on Black People Time and I make it there late and I don't get it shipped out today, I'll definitely send it off Monday. but it is done. It is finished. It's signed and dated, and just waiting to be put in the mail. So yeah, if you guys if you want to see that drawing process and that picture come to life step by step, and check out the finished product, you can go to my. People are saying they're having trouble finding my Patreon page, but if you go to my Facebook, there's a link on Facebook that will take you to my Patreon page where you can become a supporter, and then you can check out the extra content and the other videos that I will be uploading to Patreon that will not be on my YouTube channel. They will not be streamed live, and so that's the only way you'll have access to that material, which is some pretty good shit if I say so myself. I'm actually impressing myself these days, which is hard to do. I'm not easily impressed, not even by myself. Peace. Have a good day at work, boo. Mm. All right. Happy painting. I'm getting so many messages right now. It's like I always feel obligated to answer these things as soon as I possibly can. And this is Lou. Lou just sent a picture. Hmm. All right, done with that. Good morning, bits. And I'm not playing a video game this morning. Although you don't know how bad I went to. That shit is like crack. I literally had to I had to like force myself in the studio this morning. I'm looking at the video game, just biting my lip, jonesing, peeling my nails off and shit. Like, damn, man, that PlayStation, man, damn, want to play that game, man. But then I keep thinking like, I can't make no money playing that video game, but I can make money if I paint. I keep thinking about that shit, man. And painting is as fun as playing video games, and it helps me make money. So I think I need to paint something this morning instead of playing video games this morning. But this will be a short stream. I hope y'all get y'all asses in here early, because I ain't going to be here long, because I'm playing video games. Crack, nigga, crack. That virtual crack. Ooh, ooh. That virtual crack. Alright. We'll go live on Instagram for a minute too. Yay. Dual stream. You know, these things don't last long. I'd rather focus on my YouTube peoples anyway. But I do have people on Instagram who don't come to my YouTube channel who like seeing this shit sometimes, which is fucking weird, because I tell people every time, just subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's better. It's the place to be. It's what's happening. It's where the cool kids hang out. Ain't that right, yo? That's where the cool kids hang out. Ooh. But nobody don't know that. What kind of socks I have on? I got on some tan socks. They like khaki, I don't know, tan or khaki color socks. And I got my camouflage thermals tucked inside my socks because it's cold this morning. Timberlands. Goddamn Timberland socks, boy. Ooh, crack my toes. Is it wrong for me wearing Timberland socks with Nikes on? I don't know. Khaki colored Timberland socks. What up? Good morning, everybody. Ooh. Sleepyhead. What you doing up so early then? Huh? Shit, what time is it? 8:30 in the morning on Saturday. Yo, I swear, this shit be bugging me out. Yo, hey, bro, it's 8:30 in the morning on Saturday, and y'all motherfuckers is watching some dude in a paint studio. Y'all some fucking nerds, yo. I can't get over how many nerdy ass people I know. Like, I swear, these motherfuckers be up early in the hell, like, ooh, art and education. Ah, damn. Motherfucker got a glass of orange juice. Gonna watch some painting this morning. Yo, fucking nerds. Jesus Christ. Don't tell nobody y'all be doing this. I swear to God, if somebody call y'all this morning, don't tell them what the fuck y'all doing. Yo, what's up, cuz? Shit. What you doing this morning? I'm laying in bed, I'm watching this dude on YouTube. What you watching? This dude, he just, he painting? You watching some nigga paint? Bob Ross? Nah, he not. He like the black Bob Ross. I'll call you back later, man. We starting a debate. Don't y'all tell nobody y'all be doing this shit. This the first thing y'all do on a Saturday morning. Damn. Woe is me. All my homies nerds. You know what I'm saying? We don't fuck with nothing but smart people. Y'all want to wake up and watch that bullshit? Hey, more power to you. If y'all, that's what y'all want to do on Saturday morning, y'all want to watch bullshit, that's all good, all gravy, baby. But me and my constituents, we get up to that motherfucking art and education. I don't even know why I'm up. because I'm on the air. Something just told you to wake up, man. Better catch that episode of Art and Education Saturday mornings. Oh, these shits is the comfiest. Man, I had that Red Dead Redemption Part 2 at 9 o'clock on the 25th. I was playing that shit for like 10 hours. Everybody like, how you playing that shit already? I'm like, I got my shit from GameStop. How y'all not playing it? You know what I'm saying? I'm playing that shit for hours. I'm like 7 hours into that shit, 8 hours into that shit. Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm busting on that thing, boy. I was the first person. I was streaming that shit. I swear to God, I was streaming that shit for like 4 hours, 5 hours. People were like, how are you playing the game already? I'm like, damn, y'all still ain't playing this shit yet? But now everybody else already on it because it's been out for 2 days. But that shit fun as hell to me. This might be a very short stream because I'm gonna go back and play some more Red Dead Redemption. I'll stream that too. What's up? Good morning, yo. Stream some Red Dead Redemption live gameplay. All my Instagram followers, if you guys are going to be in the stream for a few more minutes, I would definitely advise you to go to the link in my bio and click on the YouTube link and come over to YouTube and come kick it with us over here. Come chill it with us over here. Yo, Chasing the Sun. Good morning. What's up? I said we over here live on air in the YouTube studio, making it happen. You know what I'm saying? So once again, all my Instagram people, if you are going to chill and relax for a few more minutes, definitely come over to the YouTube channel. It just looks better. The sound quality is better. The lighting is better. It's a bigger camera, so it just looks nicer. But I definitely like to come into Instagram Live because a lot of people don't know that I do a live YouTube channel stream almost every morning. So just getting that popping. I only chewed that gum for like 10 minutes and that shit is already sour. Oh my God. Yes. You know, okay, that's great. I'm trying to stream right now. Jeez, I hate when people call me like early in the fucking morning. Why is you calling? See, that's why I come tell all my Instagram people because most people don't know that, yo. Also, for my Instagram viewers, if you are not on my YouTube channel, I would definitely recommend you subscribe to my YouTube channel. We are almost at, hey, good morning, Lord. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers. I've taken it down so that people can't see how many subscribers I have, but the last time I checked it was 970 subscribers, and my 1,000th subscriber will receive a free painting. Not a drawing out of my sketch pad, not a pencil and paper drawing, but a legit original Travis Prince oil painting will be a giveaway for my 1,000th subscriber. I also will, I'm going to do a limited edition of prints. I'm not exactly sure which piece I'm going to print up for my loyal and faithful subscribers to my YouTube channel who have been here since day one. Actually, I have some viewers who've been with me before day one of YouTube because I started on another streaming service called Ustream, and that was almost 4 years ago. And so I have followers from way back then who constantly supported me, constantly motivated me, and watched me progress through all of my pieces of art. So with this milestone of reaching 1,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel, I'm definitely going to have another giveaway for my loyal subscribers who've been with me from day one. So everybody check out that. And I started, good morning. I started a Patreon page. A couple people told me to do it. It took like 3 people to ask me if I had a Patreon because the first time I didn't even really know what Patreon was, but now that I do, and so people's like, oh, you need to start a Patreon page. So I finally did start a Patreon page about a week ago. I have uploaded 4 exclusive content videos to the page. So the only way you can view those is by becoming a Patreon supporter, and you'll have access to content that you cannot find on any of my other sites, on my Instagram or Facebook or even my YouTube channel. These will be tutorials and videos specific to my Patreon supporters. And so the first set of videos that I've done so far is I did a giveaway challenge on my YouTube channel, and when I do those, my gift is normally a drawing out of my sketch pad. You send me a picture, and I'll get in my sketch pad and I'll draw the picture and I'll send it to you absolutely free, just for answering the question correctly in the challenge segment. And so I did another challenge a couple days ago and had a winner. And most people haven't ever seen me draw. Like, some people don't think I draw sometimes. It's really weird because nobody knows to ever see me do it. So I think my Patreon page will be for more in-depth, detailed tutorials about actually drawing, shading, pencil work, and starting canvases from scratch, because that's something else that I really don't show on my YouTube channel, is how I start my canvases and how I start my paintings. And I used to do it, but it seems like people really aren't excited to see that part of the process. I even noticed just like now, like me talking just about anything on YouTube, I will retain and hold more viewers. But as soon as I turn my back and start painting and actually doing physical work on the canvas, like people just kind of don't want to see that part, and it's weird. So sometimes I think I should just have a talk show instead of a art show, but I'm not gonna do that. But so yeah, so for more in-depth, detailed tutorials on how I actually compose and put together pieces of art, and like I said, if you want more drawing instructions on how to shape eyes and noses and how to, just make a face look realistic, then you should definitely subscribe to my Patreon channel. The link for that should be all on my social medias, on my Facebook and my Instagram. You should be able to find a link to the Patreon channel. And like I say, so far I've uploaded 4 30-minute videos, which are really good. They actually turned out a lot better than I thought it would be. And I don't know, I think I may edit them down into a time-lapse video, and so you can see the process in a compressed manner, which I think may be actually cool also. But we'll see. And then I want my Patreon subscribers to actually tell me what they want to see in their private videos, for their private content. Like, what would you want me to give you guys that you're not really getting when I stream live on Instagram or live on YouTube? And we can have like really specific questions and things like that, which are only going to be on my Patreon. And so I think that's cool too, like give something away free to the general public, and then for people who want something a little bit more, if you're willing to support the cause and support the art, then I'm definitely willing to focus on you guys a lot more and give you that extra content that nobody else has access to. And with that being said, I'm going to repeat myself again and again and again. If this is your... Yeah, I keep thinking about, like, so many people told me time-lapse videos. You should do a time-lapse. You should do a time-lapse. And I'm like, okay, I think it's time to learn how to do that and actually just set up a time-lapse and show people like an entire process in just a few minutes. But yeah, if you guys are not on my YouTube channel, this is for my people on Instagram. If you're not on my YouTube, definitely go to the link in my bio and click on the YouTube link. I am actually live on YouTube now. And the sound quality and picture quality is just a lot better over here, so I always try to usher people from different platforms to come over to my YouTube channel if you're gonna hang out for a little while and just kick back and watch the show on a Saturday morning. I mean, it's like coffee time and everybody's already up on some art and education. I think that's pretty fucking awesome. If you guys choose to start your Saturday mornings off like this, you know, it's kind of nerdy, but I get it. Hey, I get it. You know, I'm a nerd too. You know, it's just you guys want to, you know, have an intellectual conversation and look at some museum quality art while you drink your coffee. I really can't blame you, but I do know you're a nerd because that's some nerdy ass shit. You know what I'm saying? That's some nerdy ass shit. T, hi there. Bacon Bits asks, what will I be working on this painting today? And the question is absolutely nothing. I have touched like almost every part of this canvas and everything is fucking wet. I think it's due to the temperature change with the seasons. So I have my heater on in here now. I have a t-shirt and a thermal, in sweatpants, in thermals under here, in long socks. So it is kind of chilly in the house this morning. I mean, I feel comfortable now with all my clothes on, but just with the cooler temperatures, I think it's going to take a little bit longer for this piece to dry than I originally anticipated. And so I'm going to actually pull this piece off the easel and put a different piece up there and just start working on something else. I refuse to sit by and not do anything just because this motherfucker doesn't want to dry. So you don't want to dry? It's all good, baby. It's all gravy, baby. I got other paintings to work on. That's why I don't play them games. That's why you shouldn't play them games. If you're trying to make some art, don't work on one project at a time. Because they might come a stopping point where you can't work on that project no more. Then what you gonna do? Sit around and twiddle your thumbs? Nah, I don't think so. We ain't got time for that. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody got time for that. I need to be working on something. So this canvas want to play around with me and take his polar time drying? That's fine. That's fine, Mr. Painting. That is fine and dandy with me. I'll take your ass down and I'll work on something else until you make up your mind to dry or not. You know, I don't fuck with these paintings like that. I ain't gonna argue with it. I ain't gonna put no dryer on it and try to speed it up or nothing. You don't want to dry right now? Fine. Fine. That's okay with me, buddy. But I ain't gonna have your wet ass sitting on my easel taking up space like you fucking own that shit. I'm taking this motherfucker down now. You're too wet. I like it wet, but not too wet. And you is too wet to work on, so you need to be gone. You set your ass to the side right here and just look just as nice and pretty as you can from afar. And we gonna do something different. You heard me? Cause this is dry. You see, that's dry. I can work on this. I can work on this right now all day, baby. That motherfucker wet. Think he gonna hold me? Ah, shit, man, one monkey don't stop the show. One monkey don't stop the show. I got plenty of things. I got 3-4 more paintings. I got pictures in my cameras. I've been emailing photographers all over the world. Photographers from Australia, Antarctica, Alabama, every place that start with A's. And I said, hey man, I can use some of your pictures, and they say, yeah. And so I'm good. I'm great. I will never run out of shit to paint. I just got to figure out which order I'm going to paint it in. That's all it is. That's all it is. What I'm going to paint next. That's my biggest question. Is when I'm going to paint next, because they always going to be something next. Always going to be something. And that something going to be better than the thing that came before it. I don't know why it worked like that, but it does. It's called exponential growth. See? And back to the point that I was talking about. This is all that nerdy shit Oh. Okay, Marcy. You got some nudes? I feel like painting some more nude paintings. I'm being honest. I'm being respectful and tasteful. If you don't want to give me some nude paintings or you to paint, I understand that. But I like painting beautiful women. Nick. But I swear to God, I was gonna pull out another call for nudes. The last nude that I painted was just an open call for muses, and one of my classmates, one of my high school classmates, she's like, "Fuck it, I'll send you some nude pictures." And I was like, "Where?" Well, I got 4 people to send me nudes, and I actually wanted a guy, and I asked 2 of my homeboys, and one of them sent me some nudes, but they weren't really. The lighting was, and most people don't know how to take a photograph. Honestly, like, you just don't know, cause you got the iPhone 10X and all that. That don't mean you're a fucking photographer, bro. It doesn't mean you're a photographer. You know what I'm saying? Some people really don't grasp the concept of light and shadow and contrast, juxtaposition, negative space, and I'm barely starting to grasp this thing because I'm a painter. I ain't no damn photographer my damn self. I got some nice cameras and shit, but I had to learn. I had to go to YouTube University and learn what the fuck is aperture and shutter speed and ISO and all that shit. I had to learn that shit myself, and I can barely take a decent picture. So when I ask other photographers for their art, it's because they good as shit. But I try to take as many photos of my own work as I can. The last piece that I'm working on for the Reader series, that's a photograph that I took. This piece right here I'm working on right here is not, I did not take this picture, but I asked permission, can I use it? It's not like I'm a thief and stealing that shit. So when I do need different themes, I do ask people, put out open calls for stuff like that. And I was feeling the need to paint another nude. Like I said, this one came out really good. This nude right here was just an open call. Like, hey, somebody send me some nude pictures. Tastefully. That's the only thing. They have to be tastefully done. And I thought that looks really nice, and she's just, contemplating some deep ass thoughts right there. It's hard to kind of really zoom in on what she's thinking about, but she is deep in thought. That thing right there, ooh, that came out nice. And that's another thing too, like, most voluptuous women don't feel comfortable with showing their bodies, when I don't know why, because niggas like the thickness. You know what I'm saying? I like the thickness. And so this piece is called Real Women Have Curves. And it turned out fucking awesome. And you can feel her hair. Yeah, so most girls are like, oh, I don't have a model frame. Like, honestly, man, I don't know where this skinny ass motherfucking image of beauty came from, but that shit don't look nice. Nobody don't want to see your pelvis. I don't want you to pull off your shirt and I just see your sternum all sticking out and all your ribs and shit. You bend over to put your shoes on. I can just count all your vertebrae. That shit ain't cute. Shit, nigga, motherfucking shit. I said, I'm cold, man. I got 2 shirts on. I need some thickness, something cushy to squeeze up on, boy. Keep that shit warm, nigga. So, I need them titties, like, where you can hide stuff. Like, oh shit, the cops put my blunt right there. Blunt, hid. You know what I'm saying? It's hidden. Nobody can't find the blunt. Cops leave, give my blunt back. You know what I'm saying? Perfect. You know what I'm saying? That booty, like when you smack the booty, If you smack the booty and don't nothing happen, get rid of that bitch, yo. I'm telling you now. You gotta smack the booty, and that shit start doing all crazy shit like this. That's the keepers. You know what I'm saying? Real women have curves. That's just how it's meant to be. And when you look at older art from the Italian Renaissance, like I say, this really skinny, anorexic, pale, sunken face idea of beauty, this shit is so fucking false. Like, goddamn, 300-400 years ago, 500 years ago, you look at art from the Italian and the French Renaissance, you don't see no fucking stick figure women with the bones all poking out. All the women are voluptuous as shit. These motherfuckers got childbearing hips, big ass thighs, motherfucking nice full faces. You know what I'm saying? You can't see all the goddamn throat sticking out, poking out and everything. That shit look crazy. But somehow, it's like, that's beautiful. She's a model. Nah, that bitch is hungry. Somebody give us, y'all ain't got no corn, y'all don't sell cornbread? That's what's wrong, man. Y'all don't eat no cornbread and rice. I need some starch. You need some starch in your diet, girl. What's wrong with you? That starch will blow you up. You need some starch. Let me fix you a sandwich. Jesus. This would be super skinny, boy. Who like real skinny women? No way. Mm-hmm. You throw the dogs, you throw the bones to the dog. The man eat the meat. The man eat the meat, and you throw the bones to the dogs. I'm telling you. Oh man, that's a fantasy. You know what I'm saying? That's some hyper projected fantasy, and that honestly that really comes from the European standard of beauty. When you look at other cultures, for the most part, like, men and women are almost the same size physically. But when you look at a lot of European ratios, men and women, like, big European men like little teeny women, and that's so they can feel dominant and controlling over them. You know what I'm saying? I don't need my girl to be smaller than me. My woman can be bigger than me. I don't give a fuck. That shit ain't gonna intimidate me or make me feel less of a male or make me feel less dominant because my woman bigger than I am. Because I'm 175 and she 182 and we the same height. I don't feel bad about that shit. You know what I'm saying? But all of our beauty images come from makeup companies, perfume companies, clothing companies, and most major corporations have a European centralized ideology and image that they try to portray and project to the masses. And so we see this fragile, thin, skinny looking woman as the sign of beauty all the time. The shit has been changing over the last couple decades though, because now this yoga pants fascination, like, skinny bitches can't have no yoga pants. That shit don't work for you. Sorry, skinny bitches, you're done. It's over. Men don't like it, and everybody knows it. Because now, everybody want to wear yoga pants. Why is that? Because now women want to be thick. You know what I'm saying? They want to have a curvy ass so they can wear yoga pants. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? The shit is changing real bad. You know what I'm saying? This skinny ass beauty, that shit is old. That shit is done. That shit is so done. Jennifer Lopez and Beyonce, they killed that shit. They killed the idea that, I mean, it's still the prevailing idea. It is still the dominant image. As of right now, it is still the dominant image. But that shit is dying, yo. You know what I'm saying? That bootylicious, man, and Beyonce is gorgeous as hell, and she's voluptuous too. Man, motherfuckers want to ass now. Now they got workouts designed for women, just all different kind of crazy ass squats to make your quads come this way, to make your calves go that way, to make your buttocks lift up, and stretch out this way. Man, they building, they learn how to. And then if you're too lazy for the gym, they got injections, and you can do the motherfucking Kylie Jenner and motherfucking what's Kanye wife's name? Kim Kardashian. Yeah, you can do the shit like they do if you ain't want to work out and just get like butt implants and butt injections. But the skinny shit is done. Real women have curves. We know this. We know this to be true. We know this to be a fact. A real woman has a curvaceous, voluptuous body. A real woman is not a fucking twig who's actually not meant to be a twig, but starves her fucking self and treats her diet as such so she doesn't gain fucking weight. That shit is stupid. Why the fuck you doing that to yourself? This shit is done, yo. Yeah, a fit body is the best body, but a fit body can be a thick body, and most fit bodies are thick. If you're fit, you're not skinny. You won't be called skinny. Nobody would mistake a skinny person for a fit person. You know what I'm saying? Fit motherfuckers stay in the gym and they have a healthy diet and they have a healthy weight. And really fit motherfuckers do competitions and they thick as fuck. Body full of muscle and muscle mass and little fat mass, but still thick as hell. So yeah, it tastes different, but I think fit bodies the best. Yeah, but a fit body isn't a skinny body. It doesn't mean you skinny just because you fit. Damn right, thick is fucking healthy. You can have a shit. I'm trying to get thicker, motherfucker. Shit, I was too skinny. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get thicker. Shit, so I can be healthy and look nice. You know, and be fit. I ain't trying to be skinny. Shit. This the heaviest I've ever been. I weigh 175, and this is the heaviest I've ever been in my life. And this year alone, I just gained 30 pounds this year. You know what I'm saying? Purposely trying to put on weight. And everybody, other motherfuckers, they sit around and gain too much weight. Now all the other cats my age who I went to school with, these motherfuckers got guts out to here and got 2 and 3 fucking chins. And now you beyond being, thick, fit, and healthy. Now you stepping over to that obesity range. And there is a difference with that shit too. Yo, Blunt, what's up, bro? Good morning. You know what I'm saying? Graveyard Alliance. Goddamn hater terminators. That's a difference. It's all different between being skinny, thick, and obese. And hey, I can still get that borderline obese chick, you know what I'm saying? Because the big mamas, ooh. Them big girls, you can feel them, you touch them anywhere on their body, that shit feel like a titty. You can grab them right here, that shit feel like a titty. You grab them right here, that shit feel like a titty. That shit just be soft. You grab them on the inside of the thigh, that shit feel like a titty right there too. Like, damn girl, your whole body just made out of titty meat. I'm getting too graphic. Whole body made out of titty meat. Them big girl, boy, you grab that belly, squeeze that belly, boy, that shit feel like a titty, don't it? Stop. Hey, you lying. You lying. Say it don't. Whole body made out of titty meat. I like them like that too. Shit. I don't need to see no 6-pack. I see a keg, as long as that shit squishy. Women. I'm talking too much about women. Alright guys. I'm about to get out of here. Instagram. I am live on YouTube. Hey, Instagram, say what's up to YouTube. YouTube. Say what's up to Instagram. Hey, that's Instagram, that's YouTube. Hey, y'all see camera to camera? Y'all guys are so fucking cool. You know what I'm saying? We up in here chilling. Talking shit. So goddamn, if you guys, it's Saturday. If you up this early on Saturday watching this shit, you ain't got shit else to do. You ain't going to work or nothing. If y'all gonna chill for like another 5 or 10 minutes, go to the link in the bio. Come over to the YouTube channel. We're gonna be busting it up over here for another couple hours, and probably pull out some palette, pull out my color palette, clean that thing off, and get some new colors on there, so I can start working on this piece right here. And we're gonna just chill and have some more fun. Definitely come over to the YouTube channel. Once again, the link is in the bio. Appreciate you guys chilling with me for a little while. Peace. Until next time. Alright, so that's Instagram is done. Normally I alternate every other morning. Like this morning it's YouTube and Instagram. Tomorrow morning it'll be YouTube and Facebook, and then go back and forth like that, because some people be on different platforms. Like, I told my son to look at something on it. I was like, yo, check out this thing I posted on my Facebook. He's like, Dad, I ain't got no Facebook. I was like, what? Everybody got Facebook. He's like, Facebook's for old people. I don't know, man. I just felt like something inside me just kind of shatter and like start to break a little bit. I really still can't really place this odd emotion of my son calling me old. It's like, what the fuck was that? And he was like, it wasn't no joke. The motherfucker just being honest. We were just talking. He was just like, and just, that's just how he said it. He's like, yeah, it's like Facebook's for old people. And I thought to myself, but I'm always on Facebook. Am I old? I'm old. My son says Facebook is for old people, and he's not on it, which means he's not old, and I'm on it, which means I'm old. It's like, I guess we old, man. But that's why I say, so sometimes I'll do a live. I'll do a live on Facebook to reach the old people, I guess. You know, and do Instagram to reach young people. I don't know. I don't know. What is the average? Hey Siri, what's the average age of an American?
The answer is 37.3 years.
I'm 37. I am the average age. Yeah, so I guess that's right. Yes, that's right, because everybody is older than him. Like, most people in America are my fucking age. That's goddamn scary. That's scary as fuck to know that my generation is basically like running this shit. That's fucked up, you know? I'm from a fucked up ass generation, bro. I was born in the 80s. We some fucked up ass kids. And now it's our turn to be the parents. Holy shit, dude. Oh my God. I'm a parent. And I'm the average parent in America. I don't mean to be having all these epiphanies on camera like this, but this shit is weird as fuck. Like, what the fuck does that mean? What does that really mean? Like, I can remember when my mom and my aunts and uncles were my age and I was a kid, and it's like they just knew everything. But now that I'm their age and my kids are the age I was then, it's like, I don't know shit. I wonder if their generation were as nervous about shit as I feel like I am as a parent. She said old people are Facebook. What is this? What is that? I'm the average age of an American. Is that old? I mean, I guess it's weird because of technology and how our civilization is structured. Because, like, Martin Luther King and Malcolm X were only like 30 something when they died. Well, when they were assassinated, I think King was like 34 or 35, and X was like 36 or something. But look what they accomplished in their lifetime. It seemed like they were in their 60s. you know, like they lived such a long life and accomplished so much and did so much, but they died in their mid 30s. Tupac died in his mid 20s, and it's like now I'm 37, but I don't feel like I've lived 37 years. And now I'm old, and I'm restricted to Facebook. Yeah, yeah, I guess. Because somebody who's 50 years old is say, you're young, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, dude, I'm almost 40. It's like, come on. This age thing is, I don't know. Aging for me is really weird, like, because I still feel so young. Like, I honestly feel young. Um, Mentally and somewhat physically. Like, I try to work out a lot. I go to the gym almost every morning, but I do have, like, physical shit going on. You know, so I had some heel spurs. Like, what the fuck is that? You know what I'm saying? Then my back went out on me one time. Oh my god. You know what I'm saying? Then my cholesterol was high one time. And it's like, it's weird. Like, and now I'm thinking, like, I need to, like, do preventative health care. Like, I need to get my prostates checked and all that good shit, and keep up on my vision and my hearing and everything. Is like, shit is changing, like, physically. I get fucking gray hairs now. I got like 3 or 4 gray hairs. I'll get 1 or 2 right here, then I get one in my mustache, like right here, yo. That shit is fucking weird, yo. And it takes a while for them to come back because I pluck them bitches as soon as I see them, right? And it takes a while for it to come back. But it's weird, like, you don't ever, like, see it sprouting and growing. It's just one morning, it's just like, bam, a white hair. Like, how in the fuck does that happen? But anyway, so I'm noticing, and there's nothing average about you. So I'm noticing the physical changes, but I still feel so young. Like, I honestly do feel so young. And then I don't know, for my son, just be like, I don't know. That was that moment where I just had to look at things like, dang, I'm not that generation no more. You know, it's like, and now I don't like rap music. It's like, oh my god, I'm a dad. Ah, Jesus. Oh man. So I guess just gotta deal with it, you know what I'm saying? Stay making my little Facebook rants. Listening to my Tupac and Biggie. Just keep it old school. So I ain't changing. Alright. So First Friday, uh is that Saturday? No. Is it Friday or Saturday? That's crazy. I done looked at this flyer like 10 times and I can't remember what which day it is. If it's on Friday or Saturday. Bam, bam, wah, 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 wah. It is First Friday. Which is Today is Saturday. Yeah, so next Friday, I'll be one of the featured artists at the first annual Black Scranton Project artist event, which should be pretty cool. Um, no, he wants to be a rapper. He's really smart and everything, and he has a pretty decent vocabulary, but he likes music better. I just sold a painting of him, actually. I was a part of another art event a couple of months ago, the annual Scranton Fringe Festival, and I had 3 pieces of art on display at the Leonard Gallery, and the painting I did of my son actually sold. So that was pretty awesome. So I called him. I was like, "Dude, somebody brought your painting." He's like, "Seriously? The painting you did of me?" I was like, "Yeah, it's gonna be hanging in somebody's house. They're gonna look at you every day. Like their families are gonna just look at you every day." He's like, "That's kind of weird." But yeah, he wants to make music instead. And I did the music thing for a while, but it's easier for me to do this type of art. Oh my goodness. Show me the notifications. Alright, I gotta get off these things and start painting. That's crazy though, that still looking at video footage from that shooting in Kentucky.
Two people are dead and another is in custody after a shooting at a Kroger grocery store outside of Louisville, Kentucky.
Just moments before the incident happened at Kroger, the suspect was seen at the first...
Connected to iPhone. Connected to Galaxy Tab A2016.
At a Kroger grocery store outside of Louisville, Kentucky.
Just moments before the incident happened at Kroger, the suspect was seen at the First Baptist Church of Jeffersontown trying to get inside of that church, but he didn't get in.
He's like, whites don't kill whites.
He said what?
Whites don't kill whites.
While Bieber was trending for eating a burrito and conservatives were flooding your feed with conspiracy theories about the numerous pipe bombs sent to prominent Democrats and ways to deflect from the MAGA truck, this news was buried. It's a story of unimaginable hatred and ugliness, yet it was deemed less newsworthy. The story of an armed white man who tried to gain access to a black church but failed, who then entered a supermarket and killed 2 black people. A man with a prior history of hatred towards black people shot these 2 innocent citizens only to then tell a bystander who approached him, "Don't shoot, whites don't kill whites." White.
That's crazy. He tried to pull a fucking Dylan Roof on their ass, boy. Yo, this motherfucker tried to pull a Dylan Roof. Then he told the man, he said, "Goddamn, see how the dude said it?" Yeah. I heard it on a different news thing too, on the news outlet, but so this motherfucker go to a church, can't get in the church, right? So goddamn, He tried 2 doors. He tried to go in the side door on the church. That door locked. He tried to go into the front door. The front door locked. He say, fuck it. He just go to the next highly populated area, a fucking grocery store, a major food chain, Kroger. There are no Krogers in this area where I live at, but it's such a major chain, like I even know about Kroger. And so he goes in there and he just fucking shoots this guy down, just guns him down. And this older gentleman was with his grandson. His grandson just watched his grandfather just get shot to death by a stranger. He goes outside and he shoots another lady, just guns her down, kills her. A nurse from the VA hospital, just retired. She's been serving veterans for most of her life, and now she's retired from her service, and she just want to live a nice, peaceful life, and watch her grandkids grow, and guns her down. And so throughout all the shooting and stuff, there's someone in the parking lot. A gentleman is in the parking lot. His wife is in the store shopping. He was waiting on her outside. He hears all the commotion, but he has his gun on him. So he gets out his truck and he got his gun cocked, ready to see like what the fuck is going on. My wife is in there, and he sees the gunman come up to him. And he sees the gun, and the gunman looks at him and sees his gun. And the gunman says, "Look, whites don't kill whites. Whites don't kill whites." And he walks by, he gets in his car, he drives off. Now what's crazier is the fact that he said whites don't kill whites, or is the fact that the dude, the armed civilian, didn't fucking shoot his ass. Whites don't kill it. That was you up there shooting that shit, man. Fuck you. Bow, bow, bow. He ain't do that though. He just let the guy get away. But I can understand that shit too. Like, you a civilian. This motherfucker ain't trying to kill nobody. He just making sure he don't get killed. He just trying to protect his wife. He can't really tell assess the scene and know if his wife is even injured or not. So he's just like, fuck it, as long as this motherfucker don't shoot me or shoot at me. But then there were other reports that him and another civilian with a gun got in a shootout in the parking lot. So this whole fucking case is crazy as hell, but like the Young Turks saying, motherfuckers weren't really talking about it. And I don't watch a lot of mainstream news, but I mean, from my social media, like this story right here has been popping for the past couple of days. And then I hear the Young Turks talking about it, and they're like, and they're complaining that, oh, it's not getting national. And I'm like, wow, that's not in national news. It's not getting coverage like that. But, the people, the news outlets I listen to, that's like some main headline shit right now. But this is, I don't know. And they caught this guy alive. Caught him alive. I don't even see how you upper hand somebody like that. I thought I had a better rag. Oh, there it is. What, painting? I don't know, man. I tried to get him into it. I don't think he's gonna paint. There's one artist who I follow online. I don't know her personally or like that, but I've had little different chats with her and stuff. And she's really cool. She seems like a really cool person. And like her thing is art. I think she's a career artist. And she has 2 sons. And her kids are younger than mine, but she posted a couple weeks ago a picture of her youngest son painting a picture of Pikachu. And she told this whole story is like, I guess she's never tried to force art on them or try to make them, do what she does because she's a painter. And she said, one day she was just setting up her easel and some paints, getting ready to start a new project, and her son came up. He was like, "Mom, I want to paint too." And she was like, I was really shocked. She's like, "Really? You really want to paint?" And he was like, "Yeah." And so she got him set up with some stuff, and he painted a picture of Pikachu, and it wasn't half bad. You know what I'm saying? For his age, and to say like that's some first time that him and his mom sat down and doing something like that together, that shit turned out pretty good. So I thought that was dope as hell. But I don't know, like I try to nurture whatever my son is interested in. You know what I'm saying? If he everything he's ever been interested in, from soccer. Really, the first thing was like riding bikes. But that's all boys and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Then soccer, boxing, the guitar, skateboarding. What else? Even video games to a certain extent. But for the past couple of years, like he wanted to learn how to play the electric guitar. Got him a guitar and an amp and all that stuff. Then he wanted acoustic guitar, and then he started listening to like 90s music. Listened to a bunch of fucking Nirvana and Wu-Tang Clan and Tupac and Green Day, and like he was going way back, you know what I'm saying? For his age group, he went back. And then all of a sudden now he wanna make music and write songs, and I was like, oh shit. So I just try to, whatever he wants, I do try to nurture that. So this Christmas I might get him like a bedroom studio. He already has some stuff, but I'll get him like a little beat machine, a little small mixer, and a good keyboard and a good mic and a laptop. You can set up a bedroom studio for like a couple grand. So I might just do that for him so he can, have all this stuff in house and play with it as much as he can with it, and see what he can do with it. Because a lot of the things now, he just got like, he started just recording stuff on his phone. And I think he got like, his mom got him a little cheap mic and an old laptop and stuff like that. But he doesn't have like a beat machine and all that stuff yet. That's what I thought. You know what I'm saying? I would have, if you ain't gonna try to kill the motherfucker, man, I would have wounded. And then the guy who encountered the shooter he doesn't even give an interview. His son does. So he tells his son what happens, and his son that's his son talking to the news. And so his son is telling the recount what his father told him. And in a different interview, he goes on to say that he doesn't know why the shooter didn't shoot him or didn't shoot his dad. He said his dad thought maybe he was out of ammo. You know what I'm saying? He didn't. He think that's maybe one of the reasons he really didn't want my father to shoot at him, because he wouldn't be able to shoot back. So he just said, whites don't kill whites. Whites don't kill whites. But then he's like, his father didn't want to shoot anybody anyway. But yeah, if this motherfucker, if you hear gunshots and you hear hysterical screams of terror and people in a frenzy and taking flight, and then some strange ass acting weird motherfucker comes up with a gun, looks like he's trying to get away from the scene of a crime, and you're armed, I'm at least trying to wound this motherfucker, like you say. Might not try to kill his ass, because I'm not 007. And I don't have the authority. But 1 + 1 + 1 is 3. Shots fired. People screaming in terror. Weird dude walking fast away with a gun. Hey man, you with the gun. Did you just shoot somebody over there? You trying to get away? I'm gonna have to take out your kneecaps. You know? Or something. I only got big shit. I got a big ass shotgun. I can't even fire no warning shots with that. You know what I'm saying? That shit just. I'll try to shoot him in the leg with that. He won't have no legs. Motherfucker won't have no leg. That hold both legs. Just sweep both legs from underneath him. Yeah. Let's finish this.
Police arrived and, of course, peacefully into custody. This is news that gets buried. The victims were Maurice Stallard and Vicky Jones. Stallard was killed in front of his 12-year-old grandson. Vicky Jones just recently retired from the VA hospital. She spent her time helping veterans. And on that subject, let's take a closer look at this despicable human being who took her life's profile picture. I stand, huh? Stand for what exactly? Okay, so there is a lot to unpack here, but let me just start by saying that those who think the cure to solving racial issues is to avoid them, deflect from them, and pretend they don't exist will tell you that incidents like this are rare, but they're not. They're in fact so common that one as tragic as this takes second string in the news cycle to breaking news like Michael Avenatti saying a white man needs to run for president. But wait, I'm in the wrong, right? By bringing these issues to your attention, I'm the one who's fueling this divide. Because if we just ignore acts of racist violence and pretend they're not going on, they'll go away, right? It took the mainstream media 3 days before bringing this incident to light. A man massacred 2 people in a grocery store, and still takes 3 days before major news outlets even run a story. And of course, even when the story began to receive coverage elsewhere, Fox News could be counted on to avoid it completely by focusing their attention on refugees 1,000 miles from the US border on foot.
Obviously, there's so much attention being played to the border right now.
Or on ways to pretend that the truck full with Trump stickers from the MAGA bomber had nothing really to do with Trump. This is a representation of the failures of our news cycle. This should be front page news on every single media outlet across America. The reason people are so oblivious to the hatred that's brewing in this country is because it's not given the same priority. Not only is that dangerous, but it also plays into Trump's goal of manipulating the media. For instance, did you know last month 2 black police officers were killed after confronting a white man armed to the teeth? The chances are you didn't know about this incident because conservative media ignored it, and because it doesn't play into the war on cops narrative they like to pin on black people. Meanwhile, the more mainstream, moderate outlets didn't cover it because, hey, they can't put Trump in the headline. This is why independent media is so important in this day and age. To pull back the curtain on what's really happening amidst this hyper-political, polarizing climate. These are the issues that we need to hear about so that we can confront them head on. For more on this, come over to my Instagram at Francis M. Maxwell if you agree or disagree. Don't know how you would disagree, but come over and chat with me about this. You can become a TYT member at tytnetwork.com/Francis to check out more.
Someone needs to check on Ron DeSantis because he got absolutely bodied last night.
Let me first say, my grandmother used to say, a hit dog will holler.
Woo!
Mr. DeSantis has spoken. Hey, first of all, he's got neo-Nazis helping him out in the state. He has spoken at racist conferences. He's accepted a contribution and would not return it from someone who referred to the former president of the United States as a Muslim, N-I-G-G-E-R. When asked to return that money, he said no. He's using that money to now fund negative ads. Now, I'm not calling Mr. DeSantis a racist. I'm simply saying the racists believe he's a racist.
You just
just hate to see it. Just bodied. I mean, seriously, let's just run that back again. Wow.
Now, I'm not calling Mr. DeSantis a racist. I'm simply saying the racists believe he's a racist.
Yikes. As you can see, the gubernatorial debates in Florida are heating up with Gillum polling ahead of DeSantis, which is great. But this was an incredible moment in the debates, given that DeSantis has talked at a conference held by David frickin' Horowitz. I mean, the mission statement for the Freedom Center is literally defending against the radical left and its Islamist allies who want to destroy American values. DeSantis' head of Jewish outreach was also caught with a violent hate group recently, the Proud Boys. One of his consultants was posting about how these animals need to be deported in reference to Muslims, and DeSantis also got funds from
I mean, that's their whole thing they were saying is,
like the N-word
in America,
like I'm talking hard R N-word. What a song! He said he won't take any more money from him.
I can't get that camera to hold still. But what their point, what they're trying to make is, in America, a gunman shot and killed 2 people in a public grocery store in broad daylight, was apprehended alive, and no major media outlets covered the story for 3 days. For 3 days, they're like, oh, it's not a big deal. You know, they call them race warriors. You know, these race warriors. And it's a real thing. Like, he attempted to get inside of a black church prior to going to the grocery store. I mean, what aren't we seeing right here? What if he would have gotten inside that church? What would have happened? And then they're saying that, you know, the reason that he stopped the shooting at the Kroger was because allegedly there was somebody else with a gun who was shooting at him. Another civilian, and then he tried to get away, and then he ran into another civilian with a gun. Because these white dudes love their guns. Everybody, all of them carry guns. And that's the only thing that happened. So that's what he knows. Like, if he would have got inside this black church, for one, it's not typical to find black people who conceal carry, especially inside of a church. So we already know what he was going to do when he got in there. He was going to do another fucking Dylan Roof, and they were going to apprehend him alive, which they did in this same instance. You know, they caught him alive, and they have an eyewitness who says he said that, you know, whites don't kill whites. This is extremely racially motivated case of a white man killing 2 black people in broad daylight, and it's not getting coverage for 3 days because there was a bomber sending all these packages to people, and he had a truck full of Trump stickers. Like, our country is so fucked up right now, dude. Like, everything is so bad. It's so bad. It's so bad on so many levels. And then, like you say, man, people just refuse to talk about it because you're always going to blame this person and this group, and it's the left, and it's the right, it's the conservatives, it's the liberals, it's the whites, it's the blacks, it's the Jews, it's the fucking Asians, it's, you know? But we do see problems here. And we must address the problems and come to understand the underlying catalysts for these racially motivated situations that we continue to see in 2018. Oh. Sad. Shit is fucking sad, yo. A 12-year-old kid watches his grandfather get gunned the fuck down. But this dude gets apprehended alive and gets to stand trial. Fuck that. You know, fuck that with a big dick. You not stand the trial for shit. I'm not gonna make it. Yeah, bro, and I can understand too, like from the outside looking in, from other countries, we look like a bunch of fucking idiots over here, yeah? A bunch of idiots who can't get their shit together. But we got a lot of guns, so y'all can't tell us nothing. Don't nobody say shit about America. You talk shit about us, we'll come blow y'all the fuck up. I dare you to talk shit. Go ahead, try it. You seen what happened to Muammar Gaddafi? Okay. We not playing with y'all. We about to get Assad too. Motherfucking Assad think he big and bad. Fucking with Russia. Man, they want Assad so fucking bad, boy, they could taste that shit, boy. Living in some crazy times right now, man. Living in some crazy ass times right now. Motherfucker better wake up, smell the coffee, pay attention. Pay attention to what the hell's going on. Cause this shit ain't gonna be ha ha he he ha ha for too much longer.
What point is the distinction occurring between sort of a living, vibrant Earth, which we participate in psychically, spiritually, and totally, and the Earth as a resource? And I wonder if that occurs in the transition from pantheism, paganism, to monotheism, which where the sort of sacred endowment of plants, animals, etc., becomes. These things are, as you say, instrumental. Yeah. Do you think that's a significant shift?
I think it's both a cause of this shift and a symptom of the shift. Like the more distanced we are from nature, the more it seems that God is not in nature, but is kind of the external overseer of nature. And actual beings of nature lose their beingness. A lot of the things that we blame as cause are actually symptom.
How do you mean? What do you mean by that?
I mean, I'm seeing it a lot in climate change and environmentalism now. I hope it's okay to keep referring back to that because my mind is kind of in that space. But that, for example, one of the most alarming things happening is what I'm calling the insect holocaust. Have you noticed that there's less bug splatter on the window than when you were a kid?
Yeah, man.
The euro isn't working. The EU isn't working. You know what I'm saying? That Brexit and all that shit going on, man. Y'all in for some shit too for the next couple decades. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers just be thinking like, oh, this president or this prime minister. Nah, motherfucker, this shit they causing ripples that are gonna last for generations into the fucking future, man. Every time. You gotta keep staying on the trend of what all this shit means for our cities, for our states or our provinces, for our nations, for our countries. Like, you know, what's the overall arcing theme that's guiding everybody towards this fucking globalization, single currency, one world totalitarian dictatorship, man? It's all this shit is weird. And then this right here, this dude said something, bro, and once again it's like I be seeing shit that's trying to analyze like 30 years. You know what I'm saying? So I have over 30 years of life. That's 3 different decades. I can kind of analyze and see how has the world changed decade by decade by decade. And he just brought up something so fucking simple that most people don't see it, and I didn't even see it. Do you notice there is less bug splatter on your cars nowadays than when you were a kid? Yeah, I do notice. Like, why the fuck haven't I thought of that? Like, when you were a kid, like, if you drive for 45 minutes or an hour, man, the grill of your car, your windshield is splattered, like, especially in the summertime. It's like so many bugs, but now that shit don't happen no more. It don't happen no more. Your car isn't messed up with bugs like it used to be when I was a kid. Like where are all the fucking bugs going? Why are the bugs dying off? And it seems like a convenience because I don't have to clean bug splatter off my windshield, but we're killing our fucking ecosystem. And our insects are telling on us, and they're fucking dying off, and there is something extremely wrong with that. But nobody can't see like little shit like that going on. And then try to talk about the big, it's climate change, it's this, motherfucker, you don't know.
There seems to be a good covering of
space, but a lot of the things that we blame as cause are actually symptom.
How do you mean? What do you mean by that?
I mean, I'm seeing it a lot in climate change and environmentalism now. I hope it's okay to keep referring back to that because my mind is kind of in that space, but that, for example, one of the most alarming things happening is what I'm calling the insect holocaust. Have you noticed that there's less bug splatter on the window than when you were a kid?
Yeah, loads less. There used to be a good covering of splatter, right. Like a nice sort of Steven Spielberg sky of splatter.
Yeah, it's not your imagination. Like there's been approximately a 75% loss of flying insect biomass over 30 years. So confronted with anything like that, or forest fires or hurricanes, this mindset of fundamentalism, of money, of war, has us jump. Excuse me.
Have some water from this little beaker.
Thank you. It has us jump to the cause. What's the cause? Oh, insect die-off, it must be climate change. Forest fires, it must be climate change. To find an enemy is one of the deep programs of our culture. To solve a problem, so my son, who's 5, got this book from the library about superheroes. And it has all these little anecdotes about the Avengers or something like that. And each story in there, the template was the same. A bad thing is happening, the cause is a bad guy, and the solution is to defeat the bad guy by force. So this is an example of a reductionism that also has us reduce the living complexity of Earth to a single cause, which is why I'm wary of putting all of the environmental eggs into the basket of climate change and saying if we only solve this one thing, then everything else will be fine. And then what do we not see in that reductionism? Reductionism always leaves things out. And in this case, it leaves out the repeated dousing of the entire landscape with pesticides over the last 90 years. It leaves out habitat destruction. It leaves out deforestation, which one thing that came out of my research for this book is that deforestation and land abuse is a much bigger cause of the flood drought cycle, forest fires, and other things than greenhouse gases.
What advantage does the climate change narrative give the powerful that is not in the deforestation and habitat destruction narrative in order for the climate change narrative to be favoured?
It lends itself to quantitative solutions that you can make money off of.
It's always that. Quantitative. Will you explain what you mean by that?
Well, if it becomes a matter of say, increasing carbon sequestration, then you can plant biofuels plantations across Africa, Asia, and South America, which is happening, that the numbers look good, the metrics look good, but what's happening on the ground is subsistence peasants are being forced out of their traditional lifestyles, pristine ecosystems are being leveled to plant fast-growing trees, communal land holdings are being converted into titled property, indigenous people are getting evicted from their land. Like, when things get monetized and reduced to a number, the things that you cannot reduce to a number get left out. So in general, when we quantify things, they fit into a society that is built on measurement and quantification and ultimately the conversion of all things to the number called value. It's dangerous. And I could go on and on.
I met Al Gore, and he was talking, as you might imagine, about environmentalism and climate change. While I was meeting him, I felt this feeling of deep frustration. And not that Al Gore might not be a nice guy, because I saw a documentary about him once, and I saw his cabin, and I thought he did seem like a nice guy in his cabin with pictures of his dad up and stuff, you know, human. And but what I felt was that everything he was saying was invisibly caveated with the phrase, unless it affects the interests of the powerful. We must do something about carbon emissions, unless it affects the interests of the powerful, then we won't do anything. We must do something, unless it, energy consumption, unless it affects the interests of the powerful. This thing that I instinctively felt, it feels like it maybe relates to what you just said, and maybe you have even more information on that.
Yeah. I feel a little suspicious of the dominant climate change narrative because the powerful are so willing to accept it. I think it's a lot less disruptive than the alternative narrative that I like to work with, which is the living Earth narrative, which says that Earth is alive, that its health depends on the health of its organs and tissues. And what are those? Those are the forests, the wetlands, the seagrass meadows, the mangroves, the elephants, the whales, the fish, the corals. Everything that is destroyed by development is necessary. If you are in the carbon mind frame, then even if you value a forest for its carbon storage and sequestration, once you've reduced it to that number, you could cut it down if there's, say, gold to mine underneath it or oil, and plant another forest somewhere else to make up for it. Because it's just the numbers, right? Or you could cut it down but install lots of solar panels to offset that carbon. We're not treating Earth as alive and precious and sacred by operating in that quantitative mindset. And I don't think that's a big enough revolution. I don't think we are being initiated into a new kind of relationship to Earth, not initiated into, let's be a little bit more clever in working the numbers.
Yes, I think you're right.
Yeah, it is weird. I mean, it is strange that the weird motherfuckers get the highest positions. But that'll let you kind of see that it's by design and that they place the people in power and in control.
You are listening to Under the Skin with Russell Brand. Today I'll be speaking to Rupert Sheldrake. Rupert Sheldrake is a biologist.
Well, I mean, in the political arena, they're going to place people in positions the best that they can without making it look fake to the public. You know? And I always feel like it is really hard for a good person in politics to make a real difference because there are so many bad people in politics. And then on top of that, like the real handlers and the controllers and makers of money won't let politics in a free market operate that they're supposed to operate. So everybody's in this kind of a restraint. And some people understand, some people don't. Some people see the machine, some people don't. Some people think they can change it. Some people just rather go with it and benefit from it. Some people don't see it at all. But I don't know, that's why voting is so weird for me. And I don't do a lot of shit like that. Like, I used to try to really concentrate on voting on local levels. But then you just have to deal with, like, local racism. And that's even harder. Because then the racists know where you live. I mean, everybody says America is the greatest country in the world, but when the fuck will we act like it? You know? When will we act like it? That's the question.
He's been called the most controversial scientist on Earth. His research strongly challenges the paradigms of conventional science, and he is the author of multiple scientific papers and 10 science books, many of which have been bestsellers worldwide, which develop his hypotheses that traditional science has difficulty explaining, such as his popular theory, morphic resonance. He lives in London with his wife Jill, and they have 2 sons. His latest book, Science and Spiritual Practice, is out now. I'm holding a copy of it in my hands. I'm looking at Rupert Sheldrake, we've been in the studio a matter of minutes. You've challenged the setup of the studio in many ways, the positioning of the microphone, the positioning of the camera. It seems to me that you're a man who continually flies in the face of convention. Have you always been like this, Rupert?
Well, not completely, no. But I have always had a kind of contrarian streak, I suppose.
How was your early experience, your early professional life, was conventional academia, is that right? You were like a Oxford researcher or Don?
No, I was a Don at Cambridge. I did a PhD at Cambridge and I was a Don there, yes.
And sort of, I suppose, a conventional biologist?
Well, I was doing unconventional science under the guise of a conventional academic appointment as a research fellow. So I was actually, when I was at Cambridge, I was trying to see how we could expand the frontiers of biology, go beyond the framework of thinking. But at that stage, I hadn't published my ideas on morphic resonance, and what I did was relatively within the limits of acceptable science.
It's interesting, the dogma and doctrine, that it exists within the scientific and academic communities, and yours is an interview that I feel at the front of, obligated to say that your controversy is that I think that people like on the sort of the opposing side of the argument kind of regard you as like, because I'm very interested in spirituality, I'm very interested in science, but what you've already said about challenging frameworks is where my particular academic interest lies. I know there's much about convention that I have to learn, of course I do, like most people, but I'm very interested in pushing frontiers and boundaries. But like the some of the criticism, that's like what you're accused of is like pseudoscience and stuff that's not backed up by proper evidence. And I feel like that if we had Neil deGrasse Tyson on, and I hope we do one day, or when I've had people, I had on a sort of the head of philosophy once from Oxford, who's like a Christian theologian. And it's interesting, isn't it? Because once you're dealing with mysticism, which Christianity, must be referred to as just to a degree, like there's a hierarchy and there's hegemony within those fields. Why are you controversial? What is it that you've said that makes people think of you as a phrase that I particularly hate and I'm sometimes offended by? Woo woo frou frou. Banned TED Talk. You've got a banned TED Talk, that elite club, which I think is somewhat admirable. Tell me like what your detractors say of you, if you don't mind.
Well, first I have to say why they think it's heretical. What I'm doing fundamentally is challenging the materialist model of reality which science is based on, has been for more than 100 years, which is the doctrine that all matter is unconscious. The whole universe is made of unconscious matter, which then leaves the problem of how come we're conscious. And that's called the hard problem. Most scientists assume that consciousness exists only in human brains and possibly in animal brains too. The liberal ones say maybe as far down as worms or something. But anyway, it's all only in brains. And the rest of the universe is unconscious, purposeless, going nowhere. Evolution is just a matter of blind chance. There's no God out there. There's no spirit out there. There's no creativity out there. It's just chance. And that because they believe our minds are nothing but our brains, then anything that suggests the mind extends further than the brain must be pseudoscientific. So, for example, I've done a lot of research on telepathy, where people, and indeed dogs, I wrote a whole book on and animal telepathy called Dogs That Know When Their Owners Are Coming Home, based on evidence that dogs can tell when their owners are coming home. Millions of people have had this experience. I've done experiments, and sure enough, at least some dogs really can know when people come at random times in unfamiliar vehicles. and we film it all, we have all this objective evidence. But the very fact that I'm suggesting telepathy might be real is something that provokes this kind of hysterical response that it must be woo-woo pseudoscience, because my opponents believe it's impossible. So they don't think they need to look at the evidence. They think it's impossible, therefore this stuff must be fake or phony or fraudulent. And what I do is start from the position that these things seem to happen. Millions of people with dogs have noticed their dogs or cats pick up their thoughts. Millions of people have had the experience of thinking of someone who then rings on the phone, telephone telepathy. I've done experiments that show it's not just chance, it's not just guessing. So anyway, these are the kinds...
I've got two things I'd like to say here, because, listen, I'm all about God and consciousness and changing the world and a model that expands beyond materialism. This is where my particular fascination lies. But wouldn't they say that those examples about, cats and dogs, they seem sort of somehow humdrum and everyday, they seem anecdotal, and wouldn't they say, members of the mainstream scientific community, we've done tests around that, it's down to random chance, dogs don't know when their owners are coming home, we can demonstrate this in scientific laboratory conditions, double-blind testing, etc. Isn't that what they would say?
No, they don't say that. Oh. Well, first of all, they say it's anecdotal, but what I say to that is, well, if lots of people... I have more than 1,000 database. I've got more than 1,000 case studies of dogs that do this and 600 of cats. Well, I would say the plural of anecdote is data. If lots of people notice something, then to say this is rubbish because lots of people say they've noticed it isn't the right starting point. Right. Science is meant to be empirical, and which means based on experience. So my response to this is to say, okay, well, let's test it. Well, it wasn't that they'd done the tests and shown it didn't happen. No one had ever done a test before because they assume it's rubbish. So when I do the tests, then with the dogs, then it involves filming the dog, the place the dog waits, having people come at random times, come in unfamiliar vehicles, so there's no possibility that it's a routine response. They can't smell people from many miles away. They can't identify the sound of an unfamiliar taxi or other vehicle. And these dogs still do it, and it's all on film. So I would say this is evidence for something which lots of people believe exist. And the reason that I concentrate in a lot of my work on what I call the mysteries of everyday life, what you call humdrum, is precisely because these phenomena are classified by most scientists as paranormal. Well, para means beyond. They're saying they're paranormal, which means they're sort of spooky or woo-woo. My point is they're not paranormal at all. They're normal, everyday experiences for most people. What's paranormal is the claim that these things don't exist, a claim made without evidence on purely ideological grounds.
Near the beginning, Rupert, you said that the basic model of mainstream science is a materialistic one, that matter is not conscious, and consciousness is at some point, in a way that we don't understand, emerged from matter. What do you think is the motivation for the defence of dogma? Why is rationalism and materialism so rigorously defended and alternative views so vehemently opposed?
Well, it's kind of political. Originally it was political. In the 19th century, beginning of the 19th century, materialism was quite a small minority view. Within biology, a lot of people were vitalists. They thought there was a life force or some life principle. It wasn't just matter. Organisms weren't just machines. But the materialists wanted to believe that because they wanted a universe that's just matter, because such a universe would have no God in it.
Why did they want that?
Because, particularly in France, where atheism got going in a big way, much more than in England, the old regime that was overthrown in the French Revolution was very closely allied with the Church, the Roman Church.
Yes.
And they thought that to get rid of the king, you've got to get rid of the Church too. And the best way to get rid of the power of the Church was to say God doesn't exist. So the whole thing's a ridiculous sham and pretense.
Mm.
So in the French Revolution in 1793, they abolished the Catholic Church in France. They closed the monasteries, they guillotined tens of thousands of priests, and they proclaimed the cult of reason as the state religion. Notre Dame Cathedral was turned into a temple of reason. Now, in Russia, you had a similar massive growth of atheism in the late 19th century. The Bolsheviks, whose revolution occurred almost 100 years ago, 1917, wanted to get rid of religion because they thought religion supported the Tsar and the state, and they wanted to destroy this religious underpinning. So science was an ally for them in this militant atheism. And in Russia in the 1930s, they had about 5 million people belong to an organization called the League of the Militant Godless that went round...
That sounds terrifying.
Terrifying, bit like...
We are the League of the Militant Godless. Don't mess with them guys.
They went round trying to stamp out everything to do with religion in Russia, a bit like the Red Guards in China. And so atheism was essentially political in the 19th century and for much of the 20th century. And many people who were atheists wanted materialist science to back up their views because it meant they could reject organized religion, particularly Christianity, in favor of other ideologies.
So it was a necessary tool in challenging hegemony, that religion and the idea of God and man's relationship with God was tied up in power structures. Those power structures were corrupt and oppressive, needed to be overthrown. I mean, no one's saying the French Revolution or the Russian Revolution were bad things, necessary revolutions. But in order to underwrite those revolutions, you had to attack the idea of God, which was the mainstay of the hegemony, or the sort of the basis of that power. Now, earlier you mentioned this idea within biology of vitalism, that in 100 years ago in biology, the idea that there was a sort of a super mechanical component, an element that couldn't be tracked, was present. I'm learning much about Vedic philosophy, where they talk about the idea of Brahman, Prana, Atma, the idea that there are essential non-mechanical energies. Now, is this connected to your idea of morphic resonance? How does it relate to it when you talk about, well, what do you mean by morphic resonance? What do you mean by non-mechanical energy? Even though it wasn't you that said that, it was me.
Well, morphic resonance is the idea that there's a kind of memory in nature. You see, contemporary science, one of the dogmas which was established in the 17th century at the Scientific Revolution, is the idea that nature is governed by fixed laws. And the idea was, in the 17th century, God is the maker and ruler of the universe, and God is eternal, so God's laws are eternal. And then the idea was that everything in nature had to follow these laws because God is omnipotent, so God was the universal law enforcement agency. That was the metaphor.
Yes.
It was a theological conception, and they didn't have the idea of evolution then. And it's a very anthropocentric metaphor, the idea of the universe, that nature is governed by laws. Only humans have laws.
Yes.
So when you think about it, it's not a very appropriate metaphor to start with.
No. There are just patterns, and I like this idea of metaphor, and it's the fact that we are necessarily dealing with metaphor when we're dealing with science. Even the mechanistic model was contrived at a time when industry and mechanization was happening in human culture, so it would have been an attractive model, an accessible model. When mechanization was happening socially, humans are a bit like a machine, nature's a bit like a machine. That was in the language, it was in the ether. It became an appropriate metaphor for understanding. Is that correct?
It is, yes. So they thought of nature as a kind of mechanical system made up of unconscious matter based on forces that work by pushing and pulling, mechanical forces. And the idea that the laws are fixed at the beginning, you see, it made sense when they thought the universe didn't basically change. But when the idea of evolution came along, first in biology with Darwin in 1859, but then with the Big Bang theory in the whole of nature, as late as 1966, we got a radically evolutionary cosmology. If everything's evolving, then why not the laws of nature? And in fact, laws of nature, as I've said, isn't a very good metaphor. Why not habits? Why can't the universe have regularities that are habits? And then there's a kind of memory in nature that sustains them, instead of some kind of external transcendent mind with fixed laws in it, which is the eternal God idea.
So you think?
I've nothing against God, but I've got a lot against the idea of God making laws of nature that are totally fixed.
Yes, it's almost like the requirement for fixed laws is a requirement in order to conduct study. If there are no fixed laws, it's impossible to conduct study. So you need fixed laws. There must be fixed laws. But in a way, it doesn't make sense. If you're moving through limitless space, which is continually evolving, it's more likely that there are patterns that seem like laws when observed from a particular perspective, but are going to be subject to the continual evolution and change that all other phenomena appear to be subjected to.
Absolutely, puts it very well. And you see, things that have been going on a very long time, like the crystallization of salt or the formation of hydrogen atoms, are such deep habits, they behave as if they're changeless. But when you look at new things, new forms of learning, new forms of behavior, new chemical compounds, then you see the habits build up, and the evidence for morphic resonance comes from looking at new phenomena and seeing new habits build up. For example, if you crystallize a new compound, a new chemical compound for the first time, it takes months or even years before crystals form. But then, once you've got it going, all around the world, they form more easily. If you train rats to learn a new trick in London, then rats all around the world learn the same thing quicker, according to actual evidence.
Is this disputed evidence, or is that stuff that's like, we're down with that?
Well, the evidence was done years ago at Harvard and in Edinburgh and Melbourne universities. No one's disputed the evidence. The disputation is about how you interpret it. And most people thought at the time, well, this just shows some weird effect that we don't fully understand, so let's forget about it. I think the evidence for morphic resonance, you see, there's a lot of phenomena already there that people agree about fit with morphic resonance. For example, IQ scores have gone up more than 30% since IQ tests were invented in 1918. I predicted this would happen myself, not in 1918, obviously, but in the 1980s, because the tests have remained more or less the same. Millions of people have done them. Millions of people have solved these problems. It should be getting easier to do the tests. Those scores have been going up, the average scores, not because people are getting smarter. There's no independent evidence they're getting smarter. But the scores are going up because so many people have already done the tests.
I see. It's like there's a shared iCloud of consciousness that we're all uploading our results into, that we all have access to. That consciousness is not wholly housed in the brain, but consciousness has some other component. That's one aspect of the theory of morphic resonance, is it?
It is. It's a kind of collective memory. And that idea already existed in the psychologist Jung,
yes,
with his idea of the collective unconscious. Had the idea that we all tap into a kind of collective memory. But he was thinking just in terms of human psychology, and I'm saying that's the way that all nature works. It's not just us.
When Jung talks of this, he's saying because of patterns in dreams,
yes,
that people dream in a kind of consistent language in certain cases, that motifs appear across cases, across continents that have a continuum to them. Joseph Campbell's work in comparative mythology suggests that indigenous cultures produce patterns within their myths that are identifiable. An African myth or an Icelandic myth can have templates that are comparable, which suggest that consciousness communicates, or at least has some essential quality that is not determined by material reality or geography, but has some other form of connection. I mean, I personally don't have a problem with this idea, because I see that the sensory realm is accessible by the instruments we have. If we didn't have a sense of smell, I wouldn't be able to understand conceptually what you meant by a sense of smell. I know that different animals have different ranges of hearing, have different ranges of sight, so it seems to me possible that energy can communicate and travel in means too subtle for my limited instruments to ascertain and receive. So for me, it's never been a problem, but it is necessarily difficult to demonstrate when it's transferred back into the language of mechanics, material, and identifiable evidence, isn't it?
Well, I mean, not in principle. I mean, you can do experiments to test this on chemicals, on crystals, on rats, on humans. So in principle, you can test this with the scientific method. I mean, I'm totally pro the scientific method. I spent a lot of my life doing experiments. In principle, there's no reason you can't test it, and in fact, it has been tested. It's just an unfamiliar idea for most Westerners. Now, you're studying Eastern philosophy, and in Eastern philosophy, the idea of a memory in nature is completely standard. I lived in India for 7 years. I worked in an agricultural institute there. And for most Westerners, now, I spent a lot of my life doing experiments. In principle, there's no reason you can't test it, and in fact, it has been tested. It's just an unfamiliar idea for most Westerners. Now, you're studying Eastern philosophy, and in Eastern philosophy, the idea of a memory in nature is completely standard. I lived in India for 7 years. I worked in an agricultural institute. It's just an unfamiliar idea for most Westerners. Now, you're studying Eastern philosophy, and in Eastern philosophy, the idea of a memory in nature is completely standard. I lived in India for 7 years. I worked in an agricultural institute.
It's unfamiliar to Westerners, the concept of nature as one, as having, a spirit and everything having a consciousness. He said that's unfamiliar to Westerners, but to Easterners, it's a very, very old tradition. He's basically saying spirituality. Now, the complex understanding of spirituality, what we are and our connection with the world, nature, the cosmos, the infinite consciousness. He's saying that is unfamiliar to Westerners. When you say Western culture or Western society, you're basically saying white people. Spirituality was unfamiliar to whites. But Africans, Indians, Asians, we've already grasped the concept of spirituality and being one connected with nature and being a part of nature itself. But then you see these major corporations that deforest the land, that pollute the air and water, and they don't care about nature, and these are some of the biggest gangster criminals in the world who destroy our only fucking home, pollute this shit for profit on fucking needless bullshit. And all you have to do is just study some different religions, some different cultures, and know that you're fucking hurting this goddamn planet. You're polluting this fucking planet. You're becoming a cancer to the planet. And I heard somebody else talk about this, the concept of spirituality and how Westerners kind of run religion now. Christianity and Catholicism are two of the world's biggest religions. And then you got the Mormons and the Baptists and Jehovah's Witness and all these other segments. And it's but this wasn't even your thing to start with. Initially, spirituality wasn't your thing. You had to be taught all this stuff, and now you claim to be the ultimate voice for God. Yo, these reds are funny. I know you can't even really see them on the camera. That's why I keep turning my overhead light out. It's washing out a lot of the color. I'm trying to blend 3 different reds and an orange and a pink. But this is the second layer, so I'm pretty sure I'll do one more layer of paint on top of this one. So basically everything you see me applying now, you probably won't see this at the end of the painting. It'll have a much different tone to it. But I do want to try to start pulling out some of the lighter areas and getting into the mid-tones. Alright, I think I'm gonna take a break right about here. I gotta go drop this drawing off, and then I'll probably come back and stream some oh shit, I feel sleepy. I want to stream some Red Dead Redemption and do a couple of more missions on there for you guys to check that out. Whoever wants to. Most people don't like video games, but it's all good. Make sure my brushes are nice and clean. It's hard to see like the difference in tone that I was actually applying on here. Wow, it is like, yo, bacon bits. Yeah, but I've used several colors in this one section of the skull. It's kind of hard to see them though with the light. But it's gonna come out to be this, the smoking skull. So we'll see. Exactly, like the colors on here, the red, the orange, that white highlight right there, the blues. This is gonna be so fucking hot when it's done, yo. So I just tried to work on this deep red section right here, basically the shadow, the part of this skull that's in the shadow right here. And when I come back next time, I'll start, you can see it kind of fades over from this deep red into that orangish color. And so we'll start working on that transition and try to do the top part of the skull. So get these deep reds in there, get that deep orange and some of those highlights in there around the brow, and then come down and like the eyes have like these little shiny spots in it. So that's gonna be cool too. A fade. Yeah, this is gonna be a hot piece. Oh shit, dude! I feel fucking sleepy as shit, but I don't want to go to sleep. Make sure I turn everything off. Yeah, sometimes it is possible to do that, where the painting looks a little bit better than the photograph. And this might be one of those pieces because it looks like inanimate objects. I mean, it's someone wearing a mask, but you can't really see eyes and skin and normal things like from a person. So it does look like a still life almost. And so it's going to be really fun working on these. I've been so anxious to get to these set of paintings because I started them like months ago. And I've been having the underpaintings sit back there and dry while I work on different projects. And so now that this is dry enough for me to actually start applying a second layer of paint, I'm really excited. And this is gonna be fucking awesome. Yo, you do the same, yo. Yeah, what time is it? I'm about to run down to UPS and drop off this drawing and come back and play some video games. I'll take a nap, one of the two. Oh, because I feel sleepy. Yo, peace. Until next time.